Jesus and Miriam, the Evidence of Love. When Two Become One. By Jeffrey Knickerbocker. August 4, 2023. Jesus and Miriam. The idea of Jesus being married or partnered with Miriam Magdalene, also known as Mary Magdalene, has been a topic of speculation and debate for centuries. While many believe that Jesus was celibate and never married, there is evidence that suggests otherwise. One of the main pieces of evidence supporting the possibility of Jesus being married to Mary Magdalene is the discovery of the so-called Gospel of Jesus' Wife in 2012. The manuscript, a small fragment of papyrus written in Coptic, contains the phrase, "Jesus said to them, my wife," while the authenticity of the fragment has been questioned by some scholars. Others believe that it provides concrete evidence that Jesus had a wife. Moreover, the idea that Jesus was married is not entirely without precedent in Christian tradition. The Bible itself contains passages that refer to Jesus' bride, or the church as his bride, suggesting that Jesus could have been seen as married to his followers. Additionally, there are early texts from the Gnostic tradition that depict Jesus as being married to Mary Magdalene. One such text is the Gospel of Philip, which was discovered in Egypt in the 20th century. The text describes Mary Magdalene as the companion of the Savior, and says that Jesus used to kiss her on the mouth. While this could be interpreted in a spiritual sense, it is also suggestive of a physical relationship between Jesus and Mary Magdalene. The disciple Jesus loved is mentioned in several verses in the Gospel of John. The term, the disciple whom Jesus loved, is used to refer to an unnamed disciple who is present at the Last Supper and the crucifixion. The disciple is thought to be Mary Magdalene. One of the most well-known references to the disciple Jesus loved is in John 13 verse 23, which reads, "One of his disciples, whom Jesus loved, was reclining at table at Jesus' side." This verse describes the disciple's position at the Last Supper. Another reference to the disciple Jesus loved is in John 19 verses 26 to 27, which reads, "When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing nearby, he said to his mother, 'Woman, behold, your son.' Then he said to the disciple, 'Behold, your mother.' And from that hour the disciple took her to his own home." This verse describes Jesus assigning the care of his mother to the beloved disciple after his death. Overall, the use of the term, "the disciple whom Jesus loved," emphasizes the special relationship between Jesus and the unnamed disciple. There are also historical and cultural factors that support the idea of Jesus being married. In Jewish tradition, it was customary for men to marry and have children. And Jesus would have been no exception. In fact, you could say it was commanded and blessed by God. See Genesis. God commanded, "Go forth, be fruitful, and multiply." Furthermore, in the ancient world, celibacy was not widely practiced or understood, and it is unlikely that Jesus would have been celibate by choice. Moving to a tomb discovered in 1980 called the Talipot tomb with a cluster of names specific to New Testament documents along with some non-canonical documents dating in relevant time periods. However, the frequency of names found in a particular tomb in the 1st century Israel is a complex and depends on many factors, including the social and cultural context of the time, the size of the community, and the specific location of the tomb. While some names, such as Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, were relatively common in Jewish society at the time, others may have been rarer or more indicative of a particular social class or region. When it comes to the Talpiot tomb, which some researchers have proposed as a possible burial site for Jesus and his family, there is significant debate about the statistical likelihood of finding a collection of names such as those found on the ossuaries. Some scholars have argued that the clustering of names, including Yeshua bar Yehoseph, Jesus son of Joseph, and Miriam Mara, Mary Magdalene, suggests the possibility of a unique and significant burial, while others have suggested that the names are not uncommon and could be coincidental. This information is completely relevant to the debate and possible. Ultimately, the question of the odds of finding a tomb with so many names around Jesus is difficult to answer definitively, as it depends on many variables and is subject to interpretation. As with any historical investigation, it is important to approach the evidence with a critical eye and consider various perspectives and sources of information. The idea of Jesus being married to Mary Magdalene also has implications for the role of women in Christianity. Mary Magdalene is often portrayed as a prominent disciple of Jesus, but her role has been downplayed or dismissed by some Christian leaders throughout history, like Peter and Andrew, who opposed Mary because she was a woman. If it were true that Jesus was married to Mary Magdalene, it would elevate her status and challenge traditional notions of gender roles in Christian theology. In conclusion, while there is no definitive proof that Jesus was married to Mary Magdalene, there is evidence to suggest that it is a possibility.